Hi everybody, I'm Kirsty Meekin from Naio Nails, and in this video we are in Stoke-on-Trent, the best city in the world. No? Okay. And I'm training today, and I'm going to show you a basic nail. We're on a back to basic course, so I'm teaching everybody back to basics. So I'm going to show you guys how to do a basic stiletto nail. One of the easiest nails I think there is to do. So I've got a sculpting form. I've already prepped this nail. We've already done that off camera. And what I want to talk through is this form fit. So Cheryl's nail is a little bit dodgy.
You always insult Cheryl.
Oh, right.
So what I want you to all see is the fact that this shape of the sculpting form does not match the shape of Cheryl's free edge. Yeah, her natural smile there. So we need to make that match. Don't be tempted to go, oh well, we'll just shove it up there, because look, now that matches, but look at the nail. The nail is now wonky.
Sorry.
We now have a wonky nail. We don't want a wonky nail, we want it to be straight. So what you're going to do is you're going to look at that, nice and straight, everything straight, running through the finger from here to here, and also take into consideration the length of the finger. We can also turn this, not that way, you'll break your hand, turn this around, and we can see how straight it is. That's a little bit straight. I need to cut a little bit here because we're very tight here, but not so much here, and I need to cut here as well. I'm going to show you how to do that. So as I'm looking at this, I know that this side needs to creep out a tiny bit more, and then what I'm going to do is create a slit here and a slit here. So as I look at this, I can see those little lines that I've just just marked out with the very tip of my scissors. And then as we put this up, what will happen is it'll make room for this skin here. So that's what we're looking to do. And I'm going to cut this here ever so slightly deeper. On that corner. That fits a lot snugger now because we're fitting more snug here and here. Yeah, everywhere is nice and flush. Are we straight? Check you straight. And then what I want to check is the side angle of this nail. So we're going to angle the form down slightly and making sure everything's nice and tight and snug. Going to rock that over. When we do a stiletto, you don't need to open the back, and people will have an habit of picking a form, opening the back straight away. It's like a little habit that people pick up. When you're doing a almond nail or a stiletto nail, you want to keep that shut, because when you open it, I'll show you on this one because we won't use this because it's got the beginning sticker on. When you open this and you offer that up to the nail, there is far more chance of you doing this, yeah, and getting it wonky. Sorry, panicking. But if it's shut, it stops this movement. It keeps everything straight, yeah. Only open it when we do square. We'll talk about that later in another video. Right, okay, so I closed the form down to where I'm going to go to. It's very important because you want that the curve underneath, so your concave curve underneath to run through the entire nail. And that's how you're going to get that sharp sort of point as well. And you'll notice that the sculpting form is no wider than the natural nail, and that's because of these little cuts that we've created. So it allows for that skin at the side, but it also allows this form to come nice and tight. Yeah, does that make sense, girls? Right, okay. I'm using medium speed. We're going to use natural beige.
You know, with form fitting,
Yeah.
when people have got hooked nails, do you fit them differently?
Yes. I am always working, and I will show you this now. So when I look at this nail from the side, and this is important, so if you put your finger really straight and we look from the side, we're working from the side wall here, and we can see that's going to come straight here. So can you see how that is? Straight with the finger, and you can visualise where that is going to sit. So the longest point of the nail that you're creating, which is the tip, needs to be in line with the lowest point of the natural nail. This is all on a side view. So a side view, the lowest point of the natural nail is your side wall. So the longest point of the nail that you're creating needs to be in line with the lowest point. Yeah? And when we're talking about low points of the nail, that means we're going to drop the form. And that's why we've got excess here. And that's why when you look at the side, it looks like it's slightly dropping down. That's going to give you a straight side wall. If you just whack a form on flat, now look at the side. Now if we were working straight from the side, how are we going to get a stiletto? We would only be able to raise the sides up. So if we go to like this same length, everything's going to come up. So the sides are going to come up like this. And you don't want that, because you're going to lose strength. It's going to be a flatter nail. Flat nails do not have strength. They need to have a C-curve in there that runs from tip to where it contacts the natural nail. Yeah. So at this point I'm going to dehydrate, and I'm also going to prime. I tend to do this after the forms are on, because there's chance of me touching that nail, isn't there? Transferring my own natural oils from my fingers to that nail, even though my fingers are drier than a... You can finish the sentence. So yeah, primer. This is acid-based primer, which is my favourite primer. I am so old school. And then we're going to build everything out with one colour, and we're going to work with the lateral length first. So anything that's coming off this nail, so the extended part. And we're going to pick up quite a big bead, so we're going quite low, and we're going to drop that off.
Take two.
Take two! It was such a lovely bead as well. Press that on, and then we're going to make contact with... Oh, such a bad person.
Always switch your phone off when we're filming.
I know. We're going to make contact with the natural nail. It's like an anchor. You're anchoring that extension down by making contact with the natural nail. At this point, everything's starting to get a little bit set up. So it's starting to set. And then we can pat and press and pull. So all the P's, pat, press, pull the product down to the tip, tucking your sides, making sure they're nice and straight. We're going to come right to the end. Little bead. Notice the angle of the brush. So we've got the length done, and now we're going to work on everything else. So we can break this down into three, or if you can pick up a big massive bead and put that all the way down. You can do. I'm going to do it in 3 though for you. I like the powder to be nice and flat so I can walk and bounce along the powder. So I'm placing that where the apex should be. I'm getting behind the product, tapping it, then rehydrate that product with monomer, and that'll allow for a better transition from bead to bead. Drag that down. Now we're going to work at the cuticle.
Why did you get rid of that?
I was not happy with it. It was far too little and too wet. So from the centre out and the centre out. Tuck, tuck, tuck. Make sure you've tucked it nice and tight, but you're not flooding the cuticle. I'm going to rehydrate again so we get a nice transition. So we've built our apex. I'm flowing everything down. So the reason that we start with the actual length first is because that will actually take longer to set because it has no heat from the finger. Whereas the bead that we just put on will have heat from the finger. And I'm literally just getting some little beads now, just titivating and perfecting it a little bit more. And I do feel like I have a slight dip, so I'm going to come with a sort of medium sized bead. I'm going to use it quite quickly because it's in that sort of liquid state, and I can just flush that over. Just to fill in any gaps a little bit. Always making sure my brush is clean and it's the right shape. I'm using it at the right point. I'm not going in like this. Yeah, everything's paddled. You got any heat? Yeah. Makes a change, doesn't it? You only like.
What's your favourite bit?
Yeah.
It's that thumb.
Yeah, she always gets like a couple of them that go, oh yeah, I can feel that polarising, because you get that bit of heat. So now I'm test pinching, so I'm just pressing with my thumbs to see how much that is going to be disturbed. So are we going to squish it out? Is it at that pinching stage? So once it goes matte, that's when you want to check. You can put your tool on, hold it for a second, let it off, then check. Has it moved it? Has it like squished it and created these flat spots at the side? If it has, you're not ready. The more you touch it with your thumbs, the more heat you're transferring to the product and the more it will set up. So in theory, the more you test pinch, the more it's going to set. We're going to pop that on, leave it. Does that feel okay, madam? Shall I pinch it a bit more?
Yeah.
So let me just check. So I'm just going to move that down the length of the pinching tool, because you'll have a softer pinch here. Further down you go, you'll have a tighter pinch. You can add a little bit of pressure. Did you do that on purpose?
She always
I know
asks you
it's
that.
been a while since you've done my nails, but
Then I'm going to pinch down the length, because this is still a bit bouncy. and then I'm going to hold that pinch and let that set. Yeah, so you would be sort of working, by the time you put on that first bead, you want to be checking this for the pinch. Yeah, obviously we're going a little bit slower to break everything down for you, so you'll be going ahead. By the time you put that first bead on and got the length done, you want to take a look at this. Are we ready to pinch? If we are, whack it on. If we're not, go with your next bead. Keep an eye on this nail. So you should only really need one pinching tool. You can work with two because you can keep and hold that pinch with two, but you would never need any more than that.
So would you put all the forms on to start with?
Yes. Put them all on and work across your 5 fingers, yeah? So you'll always kind of leave behind a pinching tool, yeah, as you're working. I'm looking down the barrel, just checking that pinch, and I still feel like we can hold that for a minute. Now set! Right, we can take this off now. So we're going to open those perforation lines, and you can release it and give it a wiggle. And we're going to pull it down from the tip. You're not going to be tempted to sort of pull it down from here because you're going to catch the apinicum. You always work with the sides first. And we're going to support that length as well. This is something that when you find doing your own nails, it's going to be difficult to support that nail, and you'll always have one bad side and one good side, so I will not be judging you on that.
Why you start with the side walls first?
I like to start decide what's wrong with me. I didn't cough. I like to start with the sides because it starts the shape off. And also, when I look at this, I can go, yeah, that's straight, and then I can work with the rest, and I can also turn the hand over and I can judge the thickness. So if I've gone underneath like this, it gives me a nice edge to then look at and see what thickness I've got. Does that answer our question? I'm going to come around the cuticle area now. So I'm only touching that area, so you can see how I'm angling the file. You can see that I'm only creating demarcations in that area. I'm not holding it flat, so I hit the skin. You know, I was talking to you earlier, girls, about getting that area nice and thin. So do it with the application and also do it with the file. But if your application is nice and thin there, you'll have minimal filing to do at that area. Now I'm going to come straight at the sides, nice and flat. So we go flat at the sides, yeah? Then from those flat sides we are going to contour. So we're going from here to here. And I'm pulling towards myself. I'm stopping to check. I'm feeling, because I always like to feel. Because sometimes you can't see it, but you can feel it. And you can check your apex, make sure it's in the right place and make sure it's not massively prominent, but you just want that soft apex to give the nail strength. Then we're going to buff it. So I've dusted off, and we're going to wipe over. Going to wipe over with gel residue wipe off solution. I did question whether that was something else then.
Bubble solution.
Yeah, I've got bubble solution in bottles, and I go like that and go. Did it on Vanessa, and Vanessa's very allergic to like washing up liquid.
Oh, yeah.
She was like, "Oh, but that stinks."
I keep
Right.
washing my hands up.
So you wouldn't wipe over with acetone?
No. Oh, but you can wipe over with acetone if you want something high shined. If you're going to put gel polish on,
No.
don't wipe over with acetone. If you want it super shiny. So if you're using a chamois bit, you know, like we've got the chamois bits, you ever use them? Back in the day.
A long time ago.
Long time ago. Yeah. But if you're going to put gel polish on, gel residue's plenty. But if you're doing a competition, or if you have, when you look at it and think, I got some bubbles, or I haven't quite got rid of the deep demarcations, go over with the acetone. It'll just melt the top layer and kind of sort that out. Yeah. Just going to do the length first, and then I can come and concentrate on this cuticle area with my top coat. Pop it on the lamp. So when you're creating this shape, I want you to think about that concave curve underneath running all the way through. Yeah. The pinching and the angle of your form. So we drop the form a little bit. So the longest point of the nail that you're creating needs to be in line with the lowest point of the natural nail. Yeah? So if we were going to do a shorter nail, what do you think we'd do with the form?
Drop it more.
Drop it up. Yeah. If you lift it, it's going to scoop up.
Yeah.
Yeah? So if you drop it more, then you're still going to have that nice straight side wall. Going to finish off with some cuticle oil. Ta-da! There you go, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Instagram, and everything I've used today will be listed below. God, I said that fast. I nearly tripped over my own words.
Nearly.
Bye-bye. Yeah, I did do a little bit.